Hello ladies and gents, I'm the Rev, and this is the beginner's guide to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. And we're going to go from the very beginning of the game to the very end of the game, going through all of the various mechanics. I will explain everything, and I will do my best to put timestamps. When you start a new game, you will have these four options. First is you start a tutorial that will show you the basics on how to use your ship, have a few cutscenes, and then you will start at the space station with a gunship. In the second one, you get just a gunship. You don't have to do tutorial. In the third, you get the frigate, no tutorial. And in the fourth, you get a cruiser, and you skip the tutorial. Once you've decided your game mode, we then move on to our captain screen. You can be a male or a female. There are multiple portraits. Put your own name in, and then we have three classes. We have the Vanguard, we have the Sharpshooter, and we have the Marauder. And that is what we will move on to next. Once you've made all your choices and you're at the station, we can begin. Hit your escape key, and first thing we're going to do is skills and perks. Now, each of the three classes has their own skills, but all of them have the same perks. The perks are a little different. We have ships and weapon buffs, and then governing, personal, engineering, and warfare. Those are all the 4X elements, but we're going to do skills first. So, the Vanguard has a light weapon damage is increased the closer you are to your target, so you get more DPS as you go. You then have these four different buttons that you can hit to launch various attacks. We have the shotgun, which is just a short burst right from the nose of your ship. Ram, which will slam you into anything directly in front of you. Gravity pull pulls in all ships around you and covers you in a hard shield. They bounce off of you and they're stunned for a second. And then we have Overload, will then disperse a huge amount of energy. It does have to charge up, and all of these are on cooldown, but that is a fantastic way to get out of a tight situation in a fleet. The Sharpshooter's passive is light weapon damage is increased the further away you are from your target, which is actually a benefit because the more damage you can do to them at a distance, the better, because that means, of course, they can't be hitting you. Now, we've got first fire a concentrated bolt of energy at your target. Then we have create a holographic copy of your ship to serve as a decoy and lure the enemy fire away. And of course, as it gets ranked higher and higher and higher with the skill points, it'll actually be more solid, more real, and at some point it will actually damage other ships. Then we have the opposite of the gravity pull. We have the gravity push, where everything pushes away. And then you have Warhead, which is basically a big old missile that you fire and does, as you can see, various types of damage. And as you go up higher and higher, it will get stronger and stronger. So let's look at the Marauder now. The Marauder passive adds additional chance to deal critical damage with light weapons, which is always a good thing. We then have Expose, which is just almost like the shotgun blast, but it shows areas of weakness. Cloak, if you get in a bad situation, you can basically disappear for a little bit, start firing off all of your buffs. Disable, which fires off a short-range blast, and depending on the size of your ship and their ship, if they're the same size or if they're smaller than yours, it will disable their shields for a few seconds. You then hit execute, which fires a concentrated short-range blast into the target, and it should punch through its shields, and if you've done it right, the shields, the hull, and really do a massive amount of damage. So those are the skills for the three different classes. Now we're going to move on to perks. The first of the perks are ships, and each one comes with its own little bonus. We are doing the cruiser, so we get increased acceleration by 30%, and it doubles our maximum heavy weapon ammo, so we can fire more heavy weapon ammo. Next, we have our weapons. And depending on what type of weapon that you like, be it beams, railguns, plasma cannons. Those are the 3 types that we choose from. And of course, as you go up, they become stronger and stronger. Moving on to the governing area, which is now into the 4X. We have tax collector, which basically, as you go through the 3 tiers, every area that you own, you will collect more money from. Then we have field logistics. So all of the mining structures, gas collectors, and material collectors that we need to build will be built faster. Freemation, all production conducted in the HQ is done faster, self-explanatory. And decreased research duration by 15%. So your research gets done 15% faster. So our first one up here in personnel is merchant, and basically helps you get better prices everywhere you go. Diplomacy helps you so that you can do trade deals, and as you get higher and higher, it'll get to the point where it doesn't matter if you're fighting with someone or not, you'll still be able to do your trade deals, so you can keep materials and other such things coming in. Then we have freelancer, and this is one of the ones you'll want to do early because it means all of the missions that you run, the side missions, you will make more money for. And then we get into negotiations 1, where it will help you raid and capture enemy ships. Now, Savvy Chief, once you've captured multiple ships, you will start getting bonuses to your troopers, and as you can see, they just keep adding up, and that takes care of personnel. Now, engineering, hacking. There are various things in the Gemini world, and as we come across them, I will show them to you that you will use the hacking skill on. Fixer means that the speed with which the repair drones do work on your ship will be increased. So as you go faster and faster, that means your ship, basically the hull, will repair quicker. Mine layer means that you will have things like Seths that will stay out 30% longer. And this one actually upgrades the power of it, whatever you put out there in its explosive capabilities, be it a weapon or a bomb or a mine, by additional 30%. Now, as you go through various areas in Gemini, you're going to run into radiation and all kinds of other fun things, and it will damage you. Not a lot, but this will save you money when it comes to having to constantly repair your ship. Next, we have Space Wolf, and we have an increase in our base radiation and EMP resistance. Miner means when you go out mining for precious resources, you will get more. Salvager, increase salvage loot yield, and this one you will use a lot because salvage is one of the big things that you're going to constantly need to be running and gunning for, and this one is definitely one you want to look at. Now we move on to warfare. First up is tactical appraisal, where you gain more information on your target, so it will tell you, for instance, the size of the ship that you're fighting, so you know if you can take it on or if you should run. Trickster, equipment cooldown. Self-explanatory. I'll show you guys what equipment is in a later video. Tread lightly. Gain 50% resistance to damage dealt by explosive mines. So if you find yourself in areas where there are a lot of mines, it might be a good one. And this one's even better. You don't get hit by mines at all. Then the next section, this is all about, as you can see, being a pirate and taking over ships. So as you work your way up, increased boarding efficiency, cutthroat, brigand, you have to have all the ones above it, but it makes it basically so that you can attack more and more ships. From what I've found, as long as the ship is not bigger than yours and you have enough of these buffs, you can achieve it. In the next episode, we'll continue to work through the menus, so please like, favorite, and subscribe, and share. The more people that get this, the more we can support the indie community, which is something that I care a great deal about, so please do that for me. Remember, keep your heads down, yo guns up, and I'll see you again real damn soon.